Last time, I told you I lost 4 years. I said it like a small line at the end. It wasn't. That was the one loss I could never get back. I lost money before, a lot of it, and most of it, I earned back. But those 4 years, no system, no business, no rebuild ever returned them. Let me show you what those years actually cost. Not in money, in something you can't reprice. First, what were those 4 years? They weren't one failed business. It's easier to tell it that way, but it wouldn't be true. The truth is messier. For 4 years, I didn't know what I was building. I tried things, I dropped them, I started again. I circled the same questions for months and moved nowhere. I was busy, always busy, but busy is not the same as moving. If you've ever spent a year working hard and ended up exactly where you started, you already know this feeling. That's the part no one warns you about. Failure at least teaches you something. Drifting teaches you nothing. It just takes the time and gives nothing back. And here's the strange thing. During those 4 years, I didn't feel the cost. Not once. The bill for lost time doesn't arrive when you spend it. It arrives years later, all at once. Now what does that actually cost? Let's define it properly. Most people think a loss is the money that left your account. That's the easy loss. You can see it. You can count it. The real loss is the one you can't see. It's the road you didn't take. Economists have a cold name for it. Opportunity cost, the value of the best thing you gave up. But that phrase makes it sound like a spreadsheet. It isn't. It's the business you didn't start, the skill you didn't build, the years that could have compounded and didn't. You can't add those years back to the end of your life. They're just gone. That's the difference. Nobody sits you down and explains. So let me draw it. There are two kinds of loss, and only one of them is permanent. Money is the loss you can reverse. You can earn it again. You can rebuild. I've done it more than once. Time is the loss you cannot reverse. There is no version of the next 10 years where you also get these 10 back. Think about that for a second. If someone stole $100,000 from you, you'd fight for it. You'd feel it in your chest. But if someone quietly took 4 years of your life and left your bank account untouched, most people wouldn't even notice. We guard the reversible loss with everything we have, and we hand over the permanent one for free. That's backwards, and I lived it backwards for a long time. So here's the question that actually matters. Why do we do this? Why do we treat time like it's cheap? I think the answer is simple and a little uncomfortable. Because time doesn't feel scarce. Money has a number on it. You can watch it go down. There's a balance, and the balance drops, and that hurts. Time has no balance on the screen. You wake up and there's another day, and another. And it feels like the supply is endless, so we spend it like it's endless, on things that don't move us, on being busy instead of being deliberate, on waiting for the right moment that never announces itself. And the cruel part is the accounting. You never get a statement for your time. No alert ever says you just spent a year, and it bought you nothing. If it did, I think most of us would live very differently. I know I would have, and there's a second reason, one that's even easier to miss. Time doesn't leave in one big withdrawal. It leaks. Money you tend to lose in chunks. A bad deal. A failed venture. Something big enough to notice. Time goes the other way. 15 minutes here. An hour scrolling there. An afternoon you can't account for. A week that blurs into the next. Nobody feels a lost afternoon. It's too small to register. But stack 4 years of unfelt afternoons on top of each other, and you get a hole you can't climb out of. That's why the loss sneaks up on you. It never arrives as one big shock. It's 1,000 tiny leaks. You never count it until you look up and years are gone. I didn't lose those 4 years in a single decision. I lost them in 1,000 small ones that each felt like nothing. So once you see it that way, the whole picture flips. The goal stops being to make more money. The goal becomes to buy back time. That's what a system really is, not a way to make more, a way to need yourself less. But I have to be honest about how this works, because the guru version is a lie. Nobody builds something that runs without them by working less. It's the opposite. The time you get back is not free. You pay for it up front. You pour in more hours than the thing seems worth, for longer than feels reasonable, before it ever gives a single hour back. I spent a brutal amount of time building the structure first, only then did the hours start returning. Anyone who tells you there's a business that takes little time and pays a lot from day one is selling you something, and it's not the same for everything. Some things you build slowly need you less until one day they mostly run on their own. Others demand every hour you have forever, no matter how long you run them, and no effort ever brings that time back. A job is the clearest version of that second kind. 5 days a week, most of your waking hours, fixed. It doesn't drop as you get better at it. The hours are the deal. I'm not saying it's wrong. I lived on that line for years. I'm saying it's a line, flat and high, and most people never notice they're standing on it. The difference isn't the industry, it's the design. So the question I ask before starting anything is simple. Will this ever give me my hours back, or will it just keep taking them? For years, I did everything by hand. If I stopped, the money stopped. My presence was the engine. That's not owning something, that's being owned by it. I was the most expensive, least replaceable part of my own life. The moment I started building things that ran without me, I wasn't chasing bigger numbers. I was buying my hours back, one process at a time. Let me be concrete about what that looked like. Without the numbers, there were things I did every single day, because I believed only I could do them right. I was wrong. Most of it was habit, not necessity. I was confusing being needed with being important. Every task I refused to hand off was an hour spent on a problem I'd already solved 100 times. That's not work, that's a loop. The first time something ran a full week without me touching it, I felt strange, almost guilty. It took me a while to understand that the free hour wasn't a problem to fill, it was the whole point. If I had never forced myself out of those loops, I'd still be inside them today. Older, a little richer maybe, still trading every hour for money I didn't even need more of. And I'll be honest, I started too late. If I'd understood this at the beginning of those 4 years instead of the end, I'd be years ahead right now. Not richer. Ahead. There's a difference, and the difference is time. Now here's the part I don't say out loud very often. Those 4 years weren't only mine to lose. When you drift, you tell yourself it's your own time you're burning. It isn't. There were people around me, family, who were also waiting through those years. The hours I spent circling nowhere were hours I wasn't fully there. And unlike a business, you don't get to rebuild those. I'm not going to turn this into a sad story. That's not what this channel is. But I'd be lying if I pretended the cost stopped with me. Time is never only your own. That's what makes it the most expensive thing on the table. I won't say more than that, but I think about it more than the money. I always will. So what do you do with all this? If time is the one loss, you can't reverse what's the move? Here's where most people get it wrong. They hear this and they think it's too late for me. That's the exact opposite of the point. If time only gets more expensive, then it is never cheaper than it is right now. Not next year. Not when you're ready. now. I've heard the same sentence from people at every age. At 30, they're too old to start over. At 40, they say that about 30. At 50, they'd give anything to be 40 again, and too late. Everyone thinks the door closed a few years back. Everyone is wrong in the same direction. Here's the math that nobody likes. Of all the time you'll ever have left, today is the most you will ever have. Tomorrow you have less. There is no future date where starting is cheaper than it is right now, so it's too late is almost always a story we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of beginning. Truth is colder and kinder at the same time. It will never be earlier than this moment again. Waiting doesn't protect you. Waiting is the most expensive thing you can do, because it spends the one resource you can't earn back. So the answer isn't to feel guilty about the years you lost. Mine are gone. Guilt won't return them. The answer is to stop pricing the years ahead like they're free. They're not. They're the most valuable thing you own. I lost 4 years learning that. You just got it for free. Let me leave you with the honest version. I got the money back. I never got the time back. That was the only loss that was ever permanent. And I didn't understand it until it was already spent. Steel isn't born. It's forged, heated, hammered, again and again. But even steel can't be forged in time that's already gone. I'm still building my own ladder, one rung at a time, just no longer pretending I have unlimited time to build it. Next time people say opportunity knocks a few times in a life, I don't think that's true. I think chances pass by all the time. The question is whether you're ready to catch one when it does, or whether you watch it go like I watched 4 years ago.